Reaction videos to sister wives from Kody's nephew. Have any of you seen the Fresh King Benjamin on TikTok? He's one of Kody's nephews, and he's been sharing reaction videos to the first season of Sister Wives. It's been fascinating to hear his perspective. He's only 4 episodes in, but I've found his insights quite engaging. One topic that caught my attention was his discussion about Robin referring to Kody as her soulmate and what that means in their culture. There's an entire story behind soulmates, involving spirit babies and wars in heaven, etc. It's really intriguing, especially since many topics have been discussed extensively. Hearing this fresh perspective is refreshing. I recently started rewatching from season 1, and I was surprised when Mary mentioned she would leave if it weren't for Mariah/Leon. Watching it with the knowledge we have in 2024, you can see so much of why things are the way they are now. Great observation. Janelle and Christine were finally becoming empty nesters themselves and saw what their future with Kody looked like. Kody seemed to plan for the original 3 wives to work and support him and Robin during and after the show. I think he was frustrated with the original 3 wives because he couldn't control the income they earned. This would make an interesting podcast, though I can't do TikTok. Does he upload the audio anywhere else? He has uploaded them to YouTube as well under the handle, The Fresh King Benjamin. I'm not sure if a direct link will be rejected, but you can search for that username on YouTube. Someone else also mentioned the soulmate doctrine. Women and their lost soulmates in polygamy. During the war, many women lost their soulmates. Their partners disappeared, leaving these men to marry the women out of pity. According to the Bible, marriage does not extend into the afterlife. These women are often brainwashed from birth to accept this fate. I wish more women had the strength to leave, like Anne and, eventually, Christine did. Janelle's absence in S8E4 interviews. Has anyone else noticed that Janelle is missing from the interviews in Season 8, Episode 4? After Christine mentions her mom moving in and leaving polygamy, Janelle disappears from the interviews. Does anyone have any theories about this? My guess is that she might have been busy with work or something else, but her absence is quite strange. Kody's early blessing to Tony and Mykelti. Rewatching Season 11, I am amazed at how quickly Mykelti and Tony are moving. Just 5 months into their relationship, they announced their engagement. It's shocking that the family gave their blessing so quickly without really knowing him. It seems wildly irresponsible to endorse such a rushed decision. If my kid came to me with this plan, I'd be strongly opposed. Many marriages fail because couples rush into them, as seen with Mary and Kody, who knew each other for only a few months before getting engaged. I got married at 19, and my husband was 22. We were really happy for about 12 years until my husband developed a taste for alcohol, marijuana, and other women. I wish I had waited longer. Reflections on young marriages. As I get older, I see more from my friends that any relationship can fall apart or thrive, regardless of how it started or how stable it seemed. People can change at any time. Considering the family's reaction to Maddie getting married at the same age to a man 10 years older than her, it's not surprising. At least Tony is age-appropriate for Mykelti. Understanding parental influence on Mykelti's marriage. It's important to realize that Mykelti was technically an adult, so her parents couldn't prevent her from getting married. If they had tried, she could have eloped, causing an even bigger rift in their relationship. The disapproval of her marriage to Tony already hurt them both deeply. While I don't particularly like Tony or Mykelti, I can see how their situation was painful, especially when compared to the enthusiastic support Maddie received. At that point, parents have limited control, and it was time for Mykelti to make her own decisions. I've seen the damage caused when close family members disapprove of a relationship. It's a tricky situation with no perfect answer, and it wasn't necessarily irresponsible for the parents to step back. What really shocked me was another sister being 3 months pregnant by my Kelty's wedding in April. They all seemed to move so fast. My husband and I married 3 months after meeting, and we've been together for 35 years. It can work, but thankfully, we don't have the personalities of Tony and my Kelty. As a parent of 4 daughters, with the oldest being 23 and 19, I know I can offer my thoughts and opinions, but ultimately, they'll do what they want, especially regarding relationships. I know I did. Sometimes, overbearing parents can stifle their children, preventing them from making their own mistakes. My Kelty strikes me as someone who might do something just to prove her parents wrong. If her parents hadn't supported her, it would have caused a rift, and she likely would have married Tony anyway. Maddie would have been seen as the favored child because she had parental support, whereas my Kelty did not. Looking at them now, my Kelty and Tommy are still together and have a cute little family. It seems to have panned out well so far. It's worth noting that Christine and Kody were very concerned and wanted them to court longer. Christine, in particular, was initially very non-accepting of Tony. Kody's priorities and Aurora's potential marriage. I don't think Kody genuinely cared about my Kelty's marriage. He puts on the tough dad act, but as long as TLC was footing the bill for the wedding, he seemed indifferent. The only one I believe he might truly care about is Aurora if and when she gets married. Kody and Robin were busy with their own relationship, so they had to choose between allowing a wedding or risking a pregnancy outside of marriage. Kody opted for the wedding just in case. Sometimes these things work out. I married my husband when I was 18 and he was 19. We've had our struggles, but we're happily married and committed. Any relationship can go amazingly well or fall apart. Our parents were initially hesitant but became supportive because we were very involved with each other's families. As a parent, the biggest concern for me would be that Tony didn't know the family well. An intimate marriage. Not sure if this has been discussed here before, as I'm fairly new to this sub. I'm rewatching the episodes where Christine reveals that Kody doesn't want an intimate relationship with her. He still wants her as a wife, but no more bouncy time. So she would remain spiritually married to him and be bound by her vows to be faithful. If I understand correctly, Kody can still have sex with Robin and Janelle, but Christine would have to live a celibate life, a sort of Mormon nun. Kody actually expected her to remain a devoted wife without ever desiring intimacy again. He's such an ass. Misogynistic, narcissistic, pathological liar with bad hair, a real intellectual void. You're correct, and this isn't uncommon in polygamous marriages, even dating back to Brigham Young. Women are supposed to keep sweet and pray until God changes their mind about wanting sex or changes their husband's mind about not wanting it. I love that when Christine left Kody, she sold the bed we always saw in the background. There Kody goes again, replacing the word sex with romance. I guess it's his odd way of admitting he needs to feel attracted or in love to have intercourse. Kody's true feelings and the impact on his wives. Kody might as well just say, I only love Robin, but the rest of you need to keep sweet so we can continue receiving that sweet money. I appreciate the inclusion of these screenshots. This was right after Christine told him that his terms wouldn't work for her. Later, when they're sitting at her table, she tells him she's leaving because he said he didn't want an intimate marriage. He denies saying that and claims he was turned off by her behavior, which is equally appalling. The point is, he said no to intimacy, she decided to leave, and then he lied about it. Yet again, he's caught on tape saying exactly what he claims he didn't say. He's such a small, pathetic creature. He deserves Robin, and she deserves him. Denying Mary and Christine sex was his way of punishing them when they didn't behave. It was very emotionally abusive. This led Mary to seek love online, which backfired and seemed to be one of the last straws for Christine. Unlike Mary, Christine wasn't going to tolerate the emotional abuse. Kudos to her. Kody's capacity and emotional manipulation. Is it possible that at his age, Kody couldn't satisfy the needs of 3 women? He'd need a lot of blue pills. He just couldn't keep up, and his heart wasn't in it anymore. Robin was all he could handle or want. However, my current partner is 57 and doesn't need blue pills. He has the stamina, endurance, and arousal of any lover I had in their 20s or 30s. I'm 43 and barely able to keep up, but I'm rather happy. It helps that he's a former athlete and a rugged builder in great shape. I think Kody was never physically attracted to Christine. People raised with strict no premarital sex and no sex education might exhaust their repertoire quickly or feel too ashamed to spice things up in the bedroom. This could explain Christine's current horny teen behavior with her new husband now that she's left the religion. I'm happy for her and what are probably her very first orgasms. Robin's claim during the tell-all about his other wives rejecting his advances or something similar is completely untrue. In reality, it was Kody who was withholding physical affection from his wives. He expected Christine to remain devoted to him and adhere to what he calls the big picture. He even compared Christine's relationship with him to his relationship with Miri, suggesting that she should accept a similar dynamic. When Christine expressed her reluctance, he told her she could leave but must stay in Flagstaff to maintain his and Robin's big picture, essentially asking her to endure watching him flaunt his relationship with Robin. The term bouncy time is quite memorable and amusing, and yes, Kody expected Christine to behave similarly to Mary, who constantly sought his affection. He seemed shocked when Christine candidly revealed to the cameras, during COVID confessionals filmed on their phones, why she moved his belongings into boxes in the garage. This highlights Kody's expectation that Christine wouldn't speak truthfully about their relationship. Kody frequently emphasizes loyalty, likely due to his belief that his wives should be submissive, akin to how he perceives Mary's behavior. He once insisted to Christine that they were intimate, although she mentioned they were intimate only twice a year. This raises questions about whether Kody's expectations extended to their afterlife, where, according to the belief, wives are expected to be continuously pregnant to populate their planet. According to Robin's interpretation, being intimate with someone else could be considered spiritual separation. If so, then isn't forced celibacy a form of separation? I hate him in that episode because the dumbass is like lots of married people live a celibate life. Yes, some do, you fucking idiot, but they're both not getting any sex, and it's a choice made by both of them. He expected her to remain celibate whilst he was getting his pencil wet in Robin. Exactly. He tried to seem so hurt and surprised by Christine's decision and dismissive of her feelings and thoughts. Watching those eps, I yell at the screen, "Dude, you gigantic moron. Just stop, you gay." Usually I swear a lot more, but I'm a lady. This is super common among polygamists. It's putting a wife out to pasture. She's no longer making babies, and so he doesn't have to deal with her. Kody's dad put all of his wives except Cheryl out to pasture, and Kody did it to all his wives except Robin. Well, dumbass Mary put up with that for over a decade, and I think that made Kody think that one by one he could abandon the OG3, and they would just keep pretending to be part of things, and most importantly, they would keep earning and contributing financially without so much as a whimper of protest. Christine, however, called his bluff, and she did it publicly in no uncertain terms. He was clearly completely unprepared for a show of strength and courage from her, but that's what he got. I think he is saying that because Robin didn't want him sleeping with C since she lost weight and got an upgraded look, R couldn't stand it. It's a lot of misogynistic biz, and I'm glad she called him out and didn't stand for it. She also said something like they were only intimate a couple of times a year, and that wasn't good enough for her. He really seemed taken aback. The prize Robin didn't know she didn't want. Robin often appears deeply unhappy. She strategized, manipulated, and even deceived to secure Kody for herself. I don't think it was a carefully orchestrated plan over the years. She's not capable of that kind of long-term strategy. Her decision-making seems driven by a victim complex and a penchant for shopping, which seem to underpin all her actions. Regardless, Robin had an idealized view of Kody. When the original three wives were in different homes, to paraphrase Dr. Adams, Robin's household became Kody's preferred haven, designed for his pleasure and comfort. They bonded over shared challenges and a common enemy, reinforcing their connection whenever Kody had to visit the other wives. Now, as they are one nation under God, Robin finds herself living with the less-than-ideal husband the original three wives endured but shielded her from. She played with fire and now faces the consequences. Her desire to be the fun, carefree, youthful wife was fulfilled for a time, until the original three wives grew tired of it. Now, Robin is no longer a temporary escape for Kody. She's his only focus, and she must contend with his full, often unpleasant personality. Anyone could have seen this outcome coming. Robin aimed to recreate the honeymoon experience every time Kody visited, similar to her mother's role, though her mother was merely a mistress. She thrived on being the favored wife and relished the competition with the original three. Now she's simply the wife, with no more rivalry or comparisons, and Kody no longer feels special in her presence compared to his other wives. I believe Kody fell in love with Robin, and she fell for his intense affection. He dubbed her his soulmate, leading Robin to believe she would be the primary wife, as Kody promised. It's evident that Robin gets what she wants. While Kody pressures his original three wives and their children to treat Robin and her children like royalty, while they themselves are treated as inferior. Robin and Kody exhibit emotional immaturity, often behaving like junior high mean girls trying to assert dominance in the family. They strive to be at the center of the Brown family, but their attempts to wield influence don't resonate as they expect. Family dynamics don't work that way. Kody treats the original three wives and their children as inferior, yet he's surprised when they don't choose to spend time with him. This reality shocks only Kody and Robin. Robin feels miserable because Kody promised her a position of prominence and centrality within the family, but he hasn't delivered. Together, they marginalize the original three wives and their children from the Brown family circle, then portrayed themselves as victims for the cameras. During the scene where Christine announced her departure, Robin made it about herself in a toxic display solely aimed at gaining Kody's attention. She demonstrates adept manipulation and emotional immaturity. She now faces the consequences of her manipulations, ending up with the obnoxious Kody she connived to have. I agree. Robin appeared to suddenly feign hurt feelings when Christine expressed her need for space, which Robin exploited to provoke Kody and play the victim. In Season 11, Kody claimed he and Miri hadn't had a good relationship in 12 years, despite maintaining appearances of civility. Robin now reminds me of early season Miri. Kody values loyalty in both of them, which seems to him like a guarantee they won't leave him, allowing him to act accordingly. When Kody talks about loyalty, he means adherence to his rules. He believes he knows best, and disobedience is equated with denying COVID and warrants punishment, such as withholding visits with his children or missing important surgeries. He claims he can't vacation separately from Robin and their 5 children, yet he envies their compliance with his strict rules while others don't follow suit. It's interesting how you mention the common enemy concept in relation to how Kody and Robin view the original 3 wives. Kody attributed Christine and Janelle's strengthened friendship post-divorce to them seeing him as their shared adversary. He often projects his insecurities onto others. Janelle astutely observed that Robin often portrays herself as a damsel in distress, relying heavily on Kody and appearing incapable of independence. Janelle, known for her independence, likely sees through Robin's facade and finds her reliance on Kody both ridiculous and revealing of her true character. Robin once desired to be the favorite wife and relished in flaunting that status over the others. Now that there are no rivals, she lacks anyone to compete with or target. It's hard to imagine any woman desiring a man who demeans women by pleading like a desperate dog saying, "Pick me." Kody falls short as a husband and father, and now Robin finds herself stuck with him, likely as miserable as her perpetually unhappy demeanor suggests. She must accept her current reality with Kody, whether she likes it or not.